Hello friends, I hope you're happy and well. In today's landscape photography video I'm going to be photographing the best of the autumn colour. As you can see, there's some stunning colours around. I've come to a beech wood, predominantly beech. There's a few oak trees and other things like that, but the actual place I'm at is the Birks of Aberfeldy in Scotland, and it's probably one of the best places that I've ever been to for autumn colour. But in addition, there's a river that runs all alongside this woodland, so I should get some nice beautiful waterfalls included in the autumn colour. Now, to start off, taking photographs of autumn or fall if you're watching this in America, there are a few essential things and a few things that will just really be extremely useful. Now, the two essential things are warm clothes. As soon as you get cold or wet, you become miserable, you get disinterested, and you just won't enjoy yourself. The second thing, which is essential, is a camera. Now, it doesn't matter what camera you've got. It could be a digital SLR, it could be mirrorless, it could be point and shoot, it doesn't matter. They all pretty much do the same thing of capturing a photograph. So a phone is ideal for this sort of thing, so just get out and enjoy yourself. The non-essentials, which are very useful, is a good sturdy tripod. Now, because I'm going to be photographing by the river, I will be taking long shutter speeds to blur the water. So for me, a really sturdy tripod is essential. And also, because you're in woodland, it's sometimes quite dark as well, so your shutter speeds might be quite slow, so you will need a good tripod just to get the crispest image that you can. And finally, if you do have the ability to get a polarizing filter for your camera, you can get clip-ons for mobile phones, you can get screw-ons for all different types of SLRs or compact cameras, and a polarizing filter essentially just cuts the glare off shiny things. I'll just clip on this polarizing filter so you can see how it works. So I've put a hat on so you won't see the shininess on my head, but what you will see, if you look in the distance, I'll just turn the filter now. You can see how there, it's the leaves have got a lot of the white reflection, and then as soon as I turn it, it gets a lot more orange. And that is because it's cutting through those reflections of the sky and seeing the beautiful colours of these leaves. Now, I'm not sorry to say that I am a sucker for waterfalls. You can see why. For my first shot, I've just come down to this really stunning waterfall here. They're just so beautiful with all the amazing rocks and the water just flowing around it. I find it really peaceful. But in autumn, it just transforms it to another level. And there's some amazing colours out today. We've got some hazels, there's an oak over that side of the river, and on this side we've got some beautiful beeches. So at the moment the hazels and the oak are quite a yellowy colour, and the beeches have gone a really deep golden brown colour, and those just look really stunning going all the way around this waterfall. And in the contrast you're going to get with the dark rocks, the light water just flowing through, and then these beautiful colours around the back, just makes an absolutely superb photograph. Just look at this fantastic beech tree. I don't know what was here before, but for some reason the roots have grown around it. I don't know if they started from a dead tree and that tree is long gone, and the seeds fell in the top, which quite often happens, but it's pretty cool. One thing that I love to do when I'm photographing out in woodland is to find a nice set of trees, such as these ones just in this cluster. And then I'll use a long focal length lens. So in my case, this is 70mm. A telephoto lens will compact all these trees from back to front, and you'll get that compression so they all look very close together. And I think that looks and works quite well in a beautiful autumn scene like this. One thing that I love about autumn by a river is when you get these beautiful leaves just dropping on the rocks on the side of the river. Because of the darkness of the rocks, the leaves in their beautiful autumn colour just adds a lovely contrast to the dark in the rocks. I wanted to get a photograph of something that would help complement the colours. Now previously when I was down there we had lots of dark rocks, light water to give a lot of contrast, and against these beautiful leaves you get some contrast between those two things. However, what I wanted to look for now is something to complement these colours. So I've been looking around some rock colours. Down here we've got this beautiful rock, and it's got some deep golden colours in it. There's some nice light greys, and it's got lots of colours running through it. So I've come up here to do the video because I didn't want to compete with the noise of the waterfall, but down there I could get really close to this stunning rock, and the colours in the rock itself with all the autumn leaves on the top, looking that way with a beautiful canopy of these beech and hazel. It really does complement each other. Something that I always look out for when photographing woodlands, and that is a path. And the reason for that is because it gives an absolutely beautiful lead-in line. Now when you're looking at a photograph, you don't want your eyes to be like dotting all over the place or just stuck in one area. So something like a path will naturally lead your eye up through the photograph, and with this path itself it's got a bend that goes to the left and then to the right. So what that helps to do is lead your eye up into the interest in the photograph, then just meander around the photograph in that sort of area. So it will take you to specific areas of that image. And I think with these autumn colours and beautiful leaves and beautiful trees, there's so much interest in this photograph that having a lead-in line really helps to focus your eye on the attention and detail in that image. I've brought my wellies so I can get in the water to get some different compositions and different perspectives. I was just in the water just down there. We've got this lovely hazel tree which is leaning over, and there's another beech leaning over, and in the background we've got another hazel tree. And the hazels at this time are very yellow in contrast to the beech, which are between yellow and gold and orangey colours. And a lot of these beech leaves have fallen on the rocks, so there's both interest in the canopy and on the bottom of the photograph. Not only have I made it to a point in the Birks of Aberfeldy where the leaves are just stunning, we've got beech trees just surrounding us all over, and the colour is phenomenal. But also there's a really stunning waterfall behind, and that snakes in from the side, goes to the left, goes to the right, and then comes back out the front here. So I've taken a nice composition to try and capture all this lovely water in the foreground. We've got these, it's a really peaty kind of water. It's very orange and brown, and that really does set off these orange and brown beech leaves perfectly. And what I love about this waterfall here particularly is there's a really deep plunge pool just behind me. So as all the water goes over the waterfall, you get all of these bubbles just swirling around and making patterns. And if you can take a relatively short exposure, what you get is those bubbles just spreading out into a fan shape, and that can make lots of different patterns depending on which way the water's moving at the time. So I've taken a nice composition to really try and emphasize those patterns in that water spreading out like roots of a tree. One of the things I really love about landscape photography is trying to photograph rocks, because I think they're so beautiful, they have so much character to them. But unfortunately I didn't really listen in geography, so I'm asking for a bit of help just because this is really interesting. If any of you rock loving geology type people are watching this, I really would appreciate if you could leave a comment below what you think these type of rocks are. Now, they are very glittery. It shines like silver underneath the water. They are relatively heavy, so it might be a metal-rich rock of some sort, but unfortunately I don't know, and it'd be really interesting to know. So if you do know, please leave a comment below. I would really appreciate that. Thank you. So the last shot I took was just a bit further on down, and I've come up here closer towards the waterfall, really just to get this beautiful colour of this rock. It's like there's a golden orange colour to it. Just beneath you it's even better, but the composition just doesn't work there. But it really is fantastic. And as I've said before, I'm not an expert on geology, so I don't know if the rocks change in the autumn time, but at the moment the colours just really reflect and resonate the autumn colour of the trees. I think that composition should work quite nicely. Wow. Look at this magnificent beech tree behind me. It's pretty old, it's really big. From the outside you get these lovely golden colours on the beech, but from the inside, because it hasn't quite changed the same as it has on the outside, you've got this lovely canopy of yellows and lime greens on the inside. So I've taken a photograph right at the bottom of the tree, just looking directly up, to try and capture some of those beautiful lime colours. I've taken so many photographs today, I really do hope you've enjoyed them. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, then give it a thumbs down by all means, but please leave me a comment to let me know why. I really do enjoy reading your comments, so please leave me some comments, especially if you know what the rocks were. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, that's just wonderful. Thank you so much. So thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.